My dearest brothers and sisters, I'm Jesse with Living Tree Community Foods, and today we're going to be doing a planting for early spring. And just why is that? When I go to natural food stores, and there are so many fine natural food stores here in Berkeley and East Bay, one thing, of course, that jumps out at me are the prices. And the prices have nowhere to go but up and up and up. Bananas, avocado, kiwi, all these apples, pears, all these prices are soaring. $3, $4 a pound, and so forth. And when we think about it, it's more than time for us to get back and treasure and reverberate with this American earth. It will sustain us. It will sustain us. And I just want to say, it is a wonderful world. The U.S. government deficit is something like total $34 trillion. And just to service the deficit costs close to $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest on the U.S. government deficit. And isn't that a wonderful thing? We see government after government spending and spending and spending as though there are no constraints at all. And this happened way back in the 70s when the link between the dollar and gold was severed, and now we see just unbridled spending. And sure enough, we have inflation day after day after day, and there's nothing that says that's going to be moderated in any extent. And I want to say also about the headlines in yesterday's Wall Street Journal. It seems that a Chinese company, DeepSeek, has made an extraordinary breakthrough in artificial intelligence, the latest and hottest thing, and they were able to create to implement an AI program that is more efficient than anything we have, more efficient, more economical, and cheaper than anything we have here in the States. They've been using their brains. They have just arranged things more effectively and more efficiently. And sure enough, there was a steep drop on the stock market. And this is beyond belief. NVIDIA, which is the leading company producing artificial intelligence chips, their stock fell in one day by $600 billion. This is the largest drop in all of history of any company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So it shows you, brothers and sisters, how fragile the whole connotation, how fragile it is, how very, very fragile it is. And that's all the more reason why we've got to get back to the earth. And that's why, out of the depths of winter, in this February, what are we doing? We're going to be sowing. And we're going to be starting, of course, with lettuce. We're going to be starting with lettuce, and let's start with a wonderful lettuce called Marvel of Four Seasons. It will grow most anywhere US of A. Marvel of Four Seasons. It's a beautiful reddish golden color. It's a French lettuce, a French origin. So, Marvel of Four Seasons. Okay. And now we're going to start with another lettuce, New Red Fire. It's a red lettuce, but of course, as its name denotes. So here we go with New Red Fire. And how about Landis Winter, which I got from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. They're fine, fine people. A privilege to work with them. I urge you to visit their website. So Landis Winter, that sounds rather appropriate. Okay. And then from lettuce, I want to do endive. Endive, a vigorously growing, hardy vegetable, and makes magnificent salad greens. So and this is also from Baker Creek. Yeah. Endive. And now, but of course, we're going to be planting kale. Kale laughs at winter cold. It's hardy, it's vigorous, and such a magnificent salad green, and goes so great in green smoothies. So here's a Siberian kale. And how about a white Russian kale? White Russian kale. Okay. And now a Madeley kale. I got this from Fedco Seeds, and this is an old-time British kale. It's very vigorous, which is the reason why I'm planting it. And then, of course, let's conclude with a red Russian kale, another classic. Red Russian kale. And now the closest relative of kale are collard greens. These are hardy, robust. They rejoice in the cold. And so I'm going to plant a classic collard green. This is called Bat's collards. And then how about a Georgia Southern collard green? This is through the wondrous people of the Seed Savers Exchange, a wonderful organization. I urge you to please visit the website of the Seed Savers Exchange. It's a group of people devoted to preserving our heritage in heirloom and historic seeds. So, and now we're going to go on to bok choy. The slugs and snails and other insects seem to leave this alone. This is another vegetable that will rejoice in winter, also from Baker Creek. And how about Mustard greens, just a joy in salads, in soups, in casseroles. It will also rejoice in the cool and cold weather. So mustard greens, here we go. And finally, how about Bloomsdale spinach? Gotta have spinach. And this is an American classic if I might say so, Bloomsdale spinach. Okay. And now, when I get home, I'm going to give this a watering, the biggest moment in a tiny seed's life, as my colleague John Kozak of blessed memory with the Biodynamic Farming and Gardening Association of Southern California, as he used to say. And so I'm going to give this a watering. I'm going to cover this with a damp cloth, or put this in a or encase it in plastic and water it at least once a day. Keep it in a warm place in the house, and as soon as the seeds germinate, I'm going to put this in a south-facing window, so all of this can happen. You do not need a backyard. You can do all of this in the privacy of your apartment. And when the seeds have come up, go ahead and bring the tray to your community garden. They will help you transplant the seedlings. They will work with you, and they will give you a hug and a kiss and thank you for your cooperation indeed. And by the way, those compost buckets in your kitchen, all those vegetable scraps, they're all gold. Bring them, share them with your community garden. They'll put them in their compost pile and turn them into rich humus, into black, vibrant earth for growing seasons upon growing seasons. So, my dear brothers and sisters, go ahead and start your garden with for spring. And as I say, even if you live in an apartment, it's all doable. Go ahead, go to your local nursery, get a plastic tray, get a bag of good potting soil, organic of course, put that in the tray, and get planting, brothers and sisters. The headlines in the newspapers tell us that we've got to go forth, we've got to DeepSeek flips script on AI. That is utterly amazing. Utterly amazing. So the world out there seems very, very solid, and very, very solid and very, very strong indeed, but it's really balanced on a precipice. We've got to get back to the true security, hands and feet in this American earth. If you've liked this video, may I urge you to subscribe. You may even be motivated to give us a like. Your comments, your suggestions, your critiques are gold to us. We want to hear from you. So let us go forward, dearest friends. The question is, renew and regenerate this North American earth. That's what we're here to do. My privilege to share.